Good afternoon. This is Newberg Mayor Rick Rogers, and today is Sunday, July 24th. I hope this note finds you and your loved ones well and keeping cool, as it's going to be hot today and into this week. Recently, there's been a host of conversation about homelessness in our community and what can be done. Amidst the conversations, both online and off, there's been some confusion regarding the intent, involvement, and actions by the city of Newberg. I hope to clarify some of this here. First, on the subject of car camping, the city's planning department recently contracted with a Portland State University graduate school to study the issue of car camping in Newberg. The study, which came at the request of faith-based organizations who want to help here in town, showed that 1. Car camping on Newberg streets is illegal. 2. Though it's legal, and though no one likes it, people are living in their cars in our city. Most of those living in their automobiles within the city limits are originally from here. Services are the most important aspect to getting people into more stable, decent, and safe housing. One other misconception is that the Portland State University study was expensive. In truth, the graduate school study cost the city nothing more than some limited staff time. PSU was not paid. Another area of recent discussion is tiny homes. Over the past few years, students in a design class at Newberg High School built 3 tiny homes on wheels. The local nonprofit home builder, Newberg Area Habitat for Humanity, organized volunteers to finish the 3 homes. The homes are sited at North Valley Friends Church off North College Street here in town. 2 of the 200 square foot homes, roughly 200 square foot homes, are now occupied by single working women. For its part, Providence Newberg Medical Center has been providing services to the residents. With this, there's been a couple of challenges as we went through the process. 1, the comparative definitions of a tiny home, an RV or recreational vehicle, an auxiliary dwelling unit or ADU, and even a manufactured home are unclear. Both city and state code does not state how to define, inspect, or cite these relatively new dwelling types. The state has made efforts to allow relaxation of some standards as we face a regional and statewide housing emergency. And with rising interest rates, uncertain supply chains, and limited available land, the problem is not expected to be resolved anytime soon. One area that's received some additional discussion is Peace Village, a collaboration between North Valley Friends Church and Providence that was awarded American Rescue Plan ARPA funds for the development of a 9-unit cottage cluster of dwellings on North Valley Friends property. A cottage cluster is, as the name implies, a group of small units around a central shared space. The funding request from the collaboration stated the to-be-constructed cottages will be used to provide transitional housing for residents who need the assistance. A couple of misconceptions. The City Council did not unilaterally approve the ARPA funding request. A 14-member group of Budget Committee members and City Councilors approved the request in a transparent, documented, and competitive process. Second, construction has not begun on the project. The work currently underway near the church that you can see as you drive up North College is a separate private housing development. And 3, the city has not received an application as yet for the project, which we understand remains in the planning phase. In all of this, I'd like to harken back to the PSU car camping study. While none of us like it, we have people living in their cars, living on the streets, bunking up, living in less than healthy conditions here in Newberg. We are not alone in this. Homelessness is one of the most vexing problems facing our region, state, and nation. As mentioned, many of those currently struggling grew up here. As a government and as a community, do we not need to help the least fortunate among us? With this, I'd like to point out that 3 of the organizations involved with the North Valley Friends, NHS, Habitat, Providence Tiny Home Project are faith-based. Quaker, Ecumenical Christian, and Catholic are their bases. This faith focus makes me think of the tale of the Good Samaritan. While I know many of you recall the parable, I think it's a good one to remember regardless of your faith, as it will help put situations like these in potentially in perspective. In Luke 25 through 37, an expert in law asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" In reply, Jesus said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. Look after him, he said, and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense you may have. Which of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The expert in law replied, the one who had mercy on him. Jesus told him, go and do likewise. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to reach me, please do so at rick.rogers@newbergoregon.gov. Be well, and again, try to stay cool this week. The local cooling shelters, for those who are less fortunate, are expected to be open most of this coming week. Stay safe.